All right, thank you for staying with us. Charles Owino is still here with us. He's the police spokesperson. Use the hashtag Daybreak to pose all your questions at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. I'll try to pose all of them to him if time allows. Sir Rawlings says if the president or the CS Interior gives orders to arrest certain individuals or disband their meetings, would the police say no to such directives if indeed they are independent body, considering the differences among the political class?
We have very clear role to play, and the Constitution is very clear on our mandate. We don't need to take instructions from anyone when we are doing our job, not the minister, not even His Excellency the President. He understands the law, he understands the Constitution, and he knows that there are officers who have been deployed to do their work. So every time that we undertake our duties, we do it within the precincts of the law. And where we go against the law, you have always seen that at the end of the day, nobody protects us. Not the minister, not even the president cannot protect us when we go against the law. So it is clear that we work within the precincts of the law, not under direct instructions. The Constitution is clear that no person will give the IGP instructions during his work except on matters of policy, and it can only be the cabinet secretary, and it can only be in writing. It is in the Constitution, not even in the Police Service Act. So I don't think, it's just agitation from individuals who think maybe we are getting instructions. Okay. But I think that is as far as we work.
Okay. Gibson Sakwa says, please ask why some police officers don't have the new uniforms.
We said that we will roll out the new uniforms systematically. The government has to provide money for pre-primary education, for hospitals, for roads, for everything. It's not only the police. We have not outlawed the old uniform completely. We are rolling out depending on the availability of finances that we have. But we have, the majority have gotten the uniforms. Maybe just a few. Have not gotten the uniforms. Maybe very few, but I think the majority have.
Okay. Yeah. Opinia, you teach us, says, what's the take of Mr. Wayne on corruption during the police intake?
It is sad that the public sit somewhere, collect money, and try to give it out to policemen. I think this business starts from the public. If we are going to recruit in Siaya, where I come from, and you can hear people asking me, how many people have you employed? My people ask me, how many people have you employed? Then I ask myself, if government has given my sub-county in Ugenya 12 chances or 15 chances, then everybody employed is going to come from Owino's family or my friends. Is it justifiable? It isn't justifiable. If the people from Machakos expects the IGP to only employ people from their area, will he be doing his work? He'll not be doing his work. We release these opportunities across board the country, equally to every part of the country. And we make sure that at least there's a policeman employed in each and every sub-location, if possible. Okay. We make sure that there's a policeman employed in each and every sub-location. But these civilians go and collect money, try coming to bribe our officers. If we have gone for recruitment, and you have just sent your children and nobody has gone there to give money, where will those officers get money? Yeah. So it's a societal rot. It has nothing to do with us, the police.
Okay.
Yes.
But you're not supposed to accept the money when it comes.
Yes, that is true. We are not supposed to accept the money. Yeah. But you see, there are people who are weak who would accept, isn't it? Yeah. And if we catch you, we deal with you. But the position which we must agree, and we must, you don't go there collecting money. You don't go collecting money to take to policemen at night, and then you come here during the day and start telling us why policemen were taking money. Yeah. No, it's nonsense.
Well, that is the same situation even on the roads as well. We've still seen some police officers taking bribes here and there.
Those ones, we arrest them. And we have been doing that, Trevor, every day. Yeah. People are very weak to money. Majority of us, we are very weak to opportunities. But what I've said is the corruption must stop from the public before it comes up. Okay. Yeah.
This is also
it's the same public complaining.
Yeah.
It's the same public that you get into your car without insurance. And then you drive all the way from your house in Imara Daima, and you get caught at the roundabout in Nyayo, and you are the same person offering the policeman a bribe. And you know this policeman earns very little, because we cannot afford to pay also the policeman all the money in treasury, isn't it? Yeah. Everybody is not getting enough. Nobody can tell you, even those who are earning $1 million cannot tell you they have enough. Then you give this policeman money. Yeah. What are you trying to do? So what we are saying, yes, it's wrong for a policeman to pick a bribe, but it is worse for you to attempt to bribe a policeman. Okay. Yes.
And let's see, Abagada says, what happened to investigations of Sergeant Kenei's murder? All are mute and no one is behind bars.
I think murders, we never close files for murders. Yes. So the person complaining, if he has information which can help us, we will be grateful.
So this is ongoing?
Yes.
Okay.
There is no file for murder that is closed.
Okay.
Yes.
But what is the issue here? Because sometimes there's
unless a person has been charged, yes.
Okay. There's been an issue that there's CCTV footage and everything. Is that enough for police to piece together what really happened?
It forms part of intelligence collection, and it leads you to the actual investigation. Because, for example, if I find you in a scene, the CCTV captures you in a scene committing crime, fine, it has helped me to get you. So what next? Yeah, I must be having the capability of gathering the hard evidence and charging you. It has just led me to you, but there will be much more that will help me to nail you in court.
Help us understand this. As a police officer, what is the greatest challenge you face when it comes to investigations? Because we've seen certain murder cases that people, yes, you can see, like you mentioned, there's footage, you've seen someone walk in, but that's as far as it goes. What is the challenge from there on? Is it that the lack of witnesses? What happens? How come
no, we've done very well in most of our cases. I would want to know which cases we have that have been thrown.
There are many that have been coming up even on the Engage the IG platform, which is an online platform. I see people asking about Sando. I see now somebody asking about
no, but you see,
Kene.
but you see,
people asking about
excuse
Sharon.
Me. But the question is, how many murders have we had in a year, and how many have we not managed to break through? That is the question you should be asking in terms of probability, in terms of what we have managed to gather. You may not get all the murders 100%, even in the first world. Not all murders the police manage to break through. Some they don't manage to break through. Some you can break through even after 10 years. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see, Njenga Kungu Paul says, yes, the National Police Service are really doing a good job to ensure that we live safely, especially here in Kihara, that's in Kiamba. Security is in good shape. I see a lot of them saying that there's a lot of good jobs going on, and this is people praising the police officers, which is another thing. I've seen also someone mention about a police officer at the Nyayo roundabout who's really good at helping people. What is the way, what are you trying to do to ensure that you encourage the good police officers? Because you've mentioned there's some who are bad, but there's some who are really good. What are you doing to encourage the good ones? And we've seen some of them even being captured on tape and on video.
We have done quite well, especially the IGP. He has rewarded a number of officers. He has promoted them on merit, quite a number of good officers, upon recommendation that an officer is doing a good job. If we find that the other qualifications and qualities are there, we have really tried to support officers who have done well in terms of giving them commendations, even sometimes promoting them, and so on and so forth. So I think we are doing well in terms of welfare and encouragement of officers who are doing well.
Okay.
You can see I've been a spokesperson for about 12 years, and I started this job when I was an acting superintendent. And you can see police has religiously promoted me to a very high level. So you can see there's reward for doing a good job. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Waititu Wamsitu says, I was attacked and badly injured by a very known person, and after reporting, police said they can't arrest before I get a P3 form, which took time. The guy then went into hiding. How do they do that?
We may not be able to prosecute his case on air because I may not know exactly what happened. Yeah. But if it is a case of interest, we will take details and be able to explain. But usually what happens is that in all cases of assault, we always encourage people to seek treatment, because it is the doctor who has treated you that will give us the level of injuries.
Yeah.
Because we charge assaults in various levels. There's common assault, there's injury causing actual bodily harm, there is maim, there are a number of levels. So it's always important that people seek treatment. And then from the treatment, a P3 is not something peculiar. It is simply a medical form, the police medical form. So it's just a medical form prescribed so that the doctor feels on it the levels of injuries that you have sustained, to enable us charge that person accordingly, and also it will help the court to convict that person accordingly.
Where should they get this P3 form? Because this says that it took time. Why T2?
No. The P3 forms are even online.
Yeah.
So we cannot say, maybe he took time to go to hospital, but it's always important that you get treated, then you get the P3 form.
Okay.
But we also have cheeky officers who play around with issuance of abstracts and play around with issuance of P3 forms. I cannot say that outrightly he was not denied. You find a few cheeky officers who want to pull people so that they get kitu kidogo. But such like cases, when they get to our knowledge, or they get the knowledge of officer commanding station, then they are dealt with. I think there are now few such cases.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir Vikari Omwando says, kindly ask Mr. Wino if it is in considered opinion that the entry grades for our police officers needed to be revised upwards, say from the current D grades to C+ and above.
We have various levels of police work. We have a challenge when we employ every policeman with grade C+ and above. When you employ every policeman with grade C+ and above, they go back to school, they get their degrees, then they come back and they tell you, now we don't want to serve at this level. But you see, we serve at certain ratios. Like, for example, for every 9 police officers, we may only have 1 corporal. And for every such a large number, we may just have 1 inspector. So you cannot promote everyone to those levels. So that is why it is important that we separate. We get officers at direct entry inspectorate, maybe professionals or even the other levels. Then let's also get officers who have C plain, C-, D+, people who will work at those levels for a longer period of time. They'll become corporals, they'll become sergeants, because we need all these levels. And also, it depends. We are employing people for what? We are not employing everybody to be a manager. We are employing that others will do certain specific duties. So it is not a matter of what is important in recruiting a policeman. You just need an intelligent person. And intelligence is not merely measured on the grade you got. Yes, it's an assumption. But I can tell you, we have had people from especially disadvantaged areas, like very remote areas of Northeastern, remote areas of Pokot, and so on. Yeah. We even when we were being employed, some people employed at CP level entry, but they are very good. When they came in, they have done a very good job. Yeah. We also have people who have attained even grade C in school, but they went to schools where there were even no laboratories. They didn't have that opportunity. Yeah. All their teachers were untrained teachers, but he still managed to get a C plane. Okay. This is a person that sometimes you look at his intelligence level is very good. So you can also come with very high grades, like our children who go to top schools, good schools, but you still find them not getting an A plane. And you still find the ordinary children getting others. So you may find my child with a B+, and maybe another child from Uko Abasweni with D+ or C, doing far much better than my son with B+. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot that it involves. It's not just high grades only. Yeah. I just saw a video of President Museveni giving, it was circulating in social media. I wish I gave it to you and you played it here. Yeah. He was so frustrated that the General Duty Police, the scorecard for corruption was very high. He was showing the scorecard. And then lastly he said, where are my educated policemen whom I struggled so much to bring into the into the police service.
Yeah.
Because he was still seeing corruption was still escalating, despite the fact that he had brought very highly educated persons in the service.
Okay.
So there must be control on all this, and also mentality.
Okay.
You come in with good education, you pocket, you don't do your work. It is not your education that will do your work.
Okay.
You must be practical, you must do your work, and you must earn your promotions fairly. I now have colleagues in the top level who have very low level of education, but you look at their intelligence and you appreciate some of them.
Okay. Yeah. Wilson Lagat says, let Owino elaborate on how independent the police is, because from where I sit, they are partisan. They should get out of politics and protect all Kenyans equally.
I don't know the level of politics they want us to get out of, because if it means that you are going to demonstrate and you don't demonstrate peacefully and unarmed as provided, and you are a politician, or you are going to hold a political rally when the president, not even the president, it is very clear that now we have the problem, the COVID-19, the escalation of infections has gone very high, and it has been agreed that let's not have political meetings. So if we find that you are holding a political meeting and we come in to disperse you, will we be getting involved in politics? I don't think that is true. Okay. It is not that you commit an offense as a politician and then you don't want us to come in. No, our duty is to maintain law and order and ensure there is safety. Okay. So please let everybody forgive us for interfering on their bad deeds. When you do bad things, definitely you invite us, we will come, and unfortunately we may not apologize.
Okay.
Yes.
Flavian Mulama says criminal matters are taking too long in court. It's more often than not as a result of police officers not bonding witnesses and not having the police files in court. Matters are either adjourned at the instance of the prosecution or the defense, in most cases the police.
I don't think that is true. We are a very disciplined service. We are the only institution that if you fail to bond witnesses and we catch up with you, we take disciplinary action against you. But for individual cases, maybe 1 or 2 cases where there's a problem, action is taken. But basically, our officers are fairly disciplined when it comes to matters court.
Okay.
Yes.
Patrick Koech says there was a lot of chaos in the just concluded by-elections and police were in public cameras misbehaving as well. What does Owino have to say about that?
If there's any officer who misbehaved, we have channels. Please just raise a complaint and we take action against him. We don't encourage that.
Okay.
Yes.
Engineer Lazaro Kanyambok says Mr. Owino should apologize to Kenyans for letting them down, especially on enforcement of Witness Protection Act. In fact, offering yourself to be a state witness in a case involving crooks with the state connections is like suicide in this country.
He's called engineer.
Engineer Lazaro, yes.
He's okay. You know, most engineers used to top our class from primary. Most of them. I expect them to be slightly more intelligent and know a lot. Witness protection is not under the mandate of the police. It is an independent institution that we should not even interfere with. They protect all witnesses, even those ones testifying against us. So Lazaro needs to get more informed of witness protection. It has nothing to do with us.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir Rawlings here says, I wish to understand you, but please come out clear. Where do the police draw the line between an order by their bosses and an illegal order by the same bosses?
Police officers don't take unlawful instructions. If by bad luck you are given unlawful instruction, you are supposed to take the correct action. Because if you take the wrong action as a policeman, then you will be liable to it. Because nobody will give you instructions in writing. So if I give you an unlawful instruction and you have your intelligence and you have been recruited and you've been trained, then you should know the instruction I've been given by Mr. Owino is not lawful. And therefore, in your action, take the correct action. So there is no excuse of a police officer saying, I've been given instructions. No. Okay. Yes.
Ask Mr. Owino, this is Elias Mongera. Says, ask Mr. Owino when the results of cadets officers' applications is coming out.
The shortlisting has been done. Yeah. It was yesterday in the Nation and Standard newspapers, and it can also be found in our website. So we have dates from Monday to Thursday. We'll be carrying out physical interviews for cadets. Okay. The application was overwhelming. We got over 30,000 applicants and people with very good grades, and that is encouraging. It shows the public are getting more confidence in police. Okay. When people are many people are applying, I hope they are not applying because they have no jobs. I hope they're applying because they want to become policemen.
Yes.
Because police work is not easy. It's a tough job.
30,000 applications, and how many were you looking for?
Over 30,000. We are looking for only 300.
Wow.
Yes, for now.
That's almost 10 times.
Yes.
Okay, Tony.
Not 10 times.
Yeah.
It's more than 10 times.
Tony here says...
It's about 100 times.
Tony says, ask Owino why there seems to be a cold war between the office of the DPP and the DCI, which seems to have stalled the war against corruption.
The two offices have independent roles. They play their roles independently. What we are seeing are theatrics encouraged by individuals with interests in both institutions who would want to derail their prosecution.
Okay.
Yes.
Kowa Frederick says, kindly ask, of late we have been hearing that in some areas there are new divisions that have been created by the police force themselves. Is that true?
No, we don't create divisions. I mean, they talk about boundaries.
Yeah.
We have divisions in constituencies. These are administrative. They have nothing to do with us. So when we have, like for example, there are some constituencies with even 2 sub-counties, but the constituency is one. We don't do those administrative boundaries. They're done by the institutions concerned. Ours is to post officers. Like for example, now every constituency has a sub-county police officer in charge.
Okay.
Yes.
Humphrey Oyugi says, ask the police spokesperson why some junior policemen and women are extremely rich. Can such wealth be justified? Any justification for wealth declaration?
Yes, we've always done. One, I've always told people, there is no regulation that stops a policeman from opening a wholesale for his wife. No, nothing stops you. And we earn fairly well now. We can take huge loans and start a business. What is important is your business acumenship. As long as your business does not contradict with, there's no conflict of interest. You are not selling police boots to police which you are serving or uniforms. You are simply selling chuma na mabati na simiti uko kwetu Sega. It has nothing. You cannot stop my fish from breeding in Sega and Kanyaboli because I'm a policeman. They'll keep on breeding. You cannot stop my vegetables from growing. You cannot stop my cows from getting calves. Yeah? So you cannot stop a policeman from generating wealth. Okay. Yeah, because it is the civil servants which earn money. And those civil servants are expected to invest that money into the economy and grow the economy. Where are these other businessmen getting money from? Because even when you go to the bank, you must have some property, isn't it, which you are going to use. So we want to encourage many people, even civil servants, to do business and make money. We don't want poor people who are going to dip into people's pockets. Somebody who cannot afford breakfast, going to stop people at night to take money from them. So if any policeman has gotten his loan, and he can open for his wife a shop, or a hardware, or a supermarket, let him go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Yeah. We are only not encouraging them to buy matatus because of interest. But the rest,
yet we do know some of them
the rest
own
they
them.
Can do. Let's have more rich policemen, so that we can manage corruption. So that when you bring that your money, we reject it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they must have gotten that money through ways that can be justified.
Yes.
Do you follow this through?
Yes.
Is there any wealth declaration?
It's done. You remember the commission vetted people, and even some people lost their jobs in the process. So I think there's nothing wrong. Let us not encourage to have poor policemen. I know corrupt people like poor policemen, because when you are corrupt, you want to have a poor policeman so that this poor policeman can keep on receiving some peanuts from you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there are many people who would not want to have a strong policeman even in position, because if they know you are rich, you are strong, they're not going to bribe you, you will arrest them. So they would not like you. Okay. So we encourage civil servants to do business, but not in a manner that interferes with their work.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless maybe the government comes up with different legislations. But as a person, I don't think it will be good to stop civil servants from doing business. After all, they still do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Job Maina here says, why do we have officers serving in harsh areas like Northeastern for more than 5 years, yet they say the maximum should be 3 years, in expense of being a specialist? My cousin is now at his 7th year in Mandera.
It depends. You know, if you are in a formation like Border Patrol Unit, you may take long in an area. That's what I talk about specialization. But there are very rare cases where officers stay in such areas for long. We always try to make sure that at least they are rotated. So if we have a specific case, then I think it is just maybe by bad luck that the person is still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chemaiz Korir Edwin says, where do we report criminal police? Most of them participate in stealing people's property, selling of items in custody, changing of motorbike engines in police custody, and many more. Where do we report criminal police officers?
IPOA, they should report to Independent Policing Authority.
Yeah.
IPOA has opened offices regionally. You will find them in Mombasa, you'll find them in Embu, you'll find them in Nyanza. They have tried in Kakamega, and I think they are going to go to the level of counties. As they get more allocations in their budget, then they should be able to roll down to those areas. And they are very important for us. The only thing that people don't know about IPOA, people think that we were coerced to have a civilian oversight authority. People should look at our 204-208 strategic plan. In our 204-208 strategic plan, the position was that we wanted to have one police service. We wanted to have an inspector general. We wanted to have a civilian oversight authority, which is now IPOA. And the reason why we wanted to have IPOA was because many a times when there were complaints against police, even when the policeman is right and we say he's right, the public were not satisfied. They are saying, how can a policeman investigate another policeman? So we wanted a civilian oversight authority that can be trusted with those investigations and can give confidence to the public. And true to our 207-208 strategic plan, after the 207 post-election violence and the coming in of the Waki report, the Kriegler and so on, our 204-208 strategic plan was implemented through the Kriegler report and so on. So that is why we now have the Office of the Inspector General, though we still have two services. But we hope maybe if BBI goes through, then we hope to see maybe one service with an Inspector General and maybe one deputy. Yes.
Mickey says there was a CCTV footage of policemen in uniform breaking into a local bar. What's the way forward? Have they been arrested? You answered this earlier on.
I answered that, yeah.
For his sake, yes, they've been arrested. That's what was mentioned. Timothy Mudeki says, kindly ask Charles Owino why they look at young people's teeth while recruiting them in the police force.
That will be answered another day. Your dental formula.
Is it part of a medical examination?
It is like it is like somebody was so concerned about height. But you know, there's some height of an individual when he's in uniform. You know, police is about security. There's some height that in uniform you will even not look secure. So anyway, I think somebody technical would answer about dental formula. A forensic expert.
There are also those who are asking about tattoos. Is that illegal as well? For police officers to be recruited with a tattoo?
It's illegal.
Why?
I will not explain that.
Amadeu says, this is also Koa Frederick who says, this has been an informing session from the police spokesperson. He's saying that the police officers are doing a great job. There's also another one here. Let's see, there are many of them coming through. Collins O. Kongoti says, why is it that in most rural areas when police are called for a crime like robbery, yet when a changa appears, they come very fast to arrest those mamas? Why is there a difference? Response time for police officers in rural areas.
I think a crime is a crime. These are just people who sell changa or drink changa, and therefore they are not happy with those policemen who go arresting them. It's very difficult to tell the level of response as they try to put it. But I think they are just people who enjoy their bottle in the village and they would not want to be interrupted.
But are there challenges when it comes to resources in the police service?
Not much. You remember Since 2013, we have gotten vehicles on lease. Actually, even in your village, Trevor, I don't know which village you come from. I think you have a new police vehicle, police Land Cruiser. Yeah?
Okay.
Where do you come from?
Nyakach.
Yes, I'm sure Nyakach. We gave you used to go to Kisumu to get a police station, but now you have a police station at Paponditi, isn't it? With an OCPD and an OCS. So you should be happy.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see what he's saying here. Governor The Dreamer says addressing police corruption is essential to maintain public order and the rule of law, to support the legitimacy of the state, and to maintain and restore public trust in democratic processes and institutions. Let's see here. Smash. Yes, Mr. Smash says Mr. Wino should be truthful. During the time when police officers were prosecutors, there was no much missing of police files in courts. But nowadays, there's rampant cases cited by the DPP prosecutors, and hence many cases end up being dismissed because of lack of files.
But then I think he's also not informed properly. We're saying when we had police prosecutors, the files were not missing. That means the police prosecutors were doing a good job. But now, where are the files missing? Because if we have handed over the case to the prosecutors in court, they are holding the files, isn't it? We have court file and they are holding the case files. So how would you say that now we are not doing a good job? You are pressing us to have done well as prosecutors. Now we are not prosecutors. And again, you are accusing us for the rot which may be there. I don't know whether that is true, but I don't think so. I don't think the police would have to be blamed.
Okay.
Yes.
Crispinas Adams says, how can we go about the speed control points along major highways? Can the official points be determined? The police at Salga on the 4th of March were stopping motorists for overspeeding at points with no speed limit signs.
I think we must appreciate police for the work they have done. Since the introduction of speed limits in Salga and Naivasha especially, we have seen a drastic reduction in car accidents. Even if you drive on your own, driving down to Naivasha, where they know very well that the policemen will capture them, you find matatus moving at super good speed that would not cause an accident. But when they realize policemen are not there, and that's why I think with time, as the highways grow, I'm sure we are going to start having automatic speed cameras in various points where we can be able, you can be captured, it goes to control room, and maybe in the next level, we catch up with you. Okay. So I think the policemen have done well. There may be complaints or cases of delay here and there, or cases of corruption. But I think since the introduction of speed limits, we have managed Salga, we have managed Naivasha. I think the achievement is much higher than maybe the wrongs that may be happening. So let's encourage it.
Amigo says some police are actually good people. My family has gotten fair recovery from con men who got some money from us, courtesy of CID officers in our region. Okay, that's good. But as we come to an end on this, Mr. Wino, what should Kenyans expect going into the referendum, and then the election is also coming from the police service?
First of all, Kenyans have put too much politics too early. I think this is dangerous for the growth of the economy of the country, because we need concentration. We need leaders who have been elected to concentrate and do their work. But we seemingly, at the end of every election, people start politicking straight away. For us in the police, we are not worried about anything. We are going to manage the referendum if it comes very well. And we are going to manage the general elections. The police are prepared. We start preparing early. Contrary to what people believe, we prepare very, very early. What we are now doing is looking at the trend of politics and the trend of crime and how best we can manage. But we have what it takes. Nothing has changed much. We have what it takes to manage crime. So Kenyans should not be worried. We will manage the elections appropriately. No profiling, nothing. And Kenyans just to go and elect their leaders. Yeah, simple. Just elect your leaders and let the leaders come and work for us. We need to generate wealth. We need to make money. We need to be happy. We need every Kenyan to be rich. You know, life is temporary. You only live for a given period of time. So for the time God has given us to live, we must be happy. We must be happy. We must have food security. We must have good schools. We must have good hospitals. And that is what we should look for. Not Trevor looking for a winner to get a position to steal. No.
You've mentioned that you've been in the service for more than 12 years as a police spokesperson. What are the greatest reforms that you've seen that you can highlight and say this has been an achievement for the police service?
No, there is a lot. A lot has changed. One, our pay improved. It's still not what we expect, but our pay has really, really improved. In terms, I'm talking about welfare. We have insurance, which we didn't have. We have medical insurance, which we didn't have, taking care of us and our families fairly. That is not something we had at all. We have also seen more of kind of a life insurance where officers who die on duty are fairly compensated to a level that their children can eventually go to school. That's a great reform. Equally, administratively, we have managed what we call duplication of duties. You remember, we used to have administration police in a police camp in your village, and we have a police station. And I've always given this example that you disagree with your brother or your wife, another person goes to AP post, another one goes to police post. Following the merger, where all police post and police stations, the general duty, have all been transferred to one service, the Kenya Police Service.
Okay.
So we have given out specific roles. This avoids conflict of duty in terms of police. More so, we've become very liberal. Police officers now have opportunity to live outside the police lines, because you find that we could not expand the police lines because of finances. Now police officers are paid house allowance. I know those who are in major cities are still straining because of regulations, because we wanted to pay higher house allowance to police officers, but the regulations for salaries and remuneration, you cannot pay somebody a house allowance more than 50% of his salary. So that made the money to be a bit low. But when you go now to the rurals, you go to Nyakachua place, the officers are staying in very good houses, courtesy of house allowance. They are staying in extremely good houses. And you find we have officers who are my age. They have big daughters, they have big sons, and they were still restricting themselves to that small room in the police line. Now at least they can stay with their children who are old enough in better places. So I can say, and then when you go to police stations, we used to have problems with fuel, allocation for fuel. Now the leased cars, we don't have that problem anymore, because the leased cars come with fuel cards. So the issue of somebody telling you, it was genuine. Sometimes people would go to a police station and you have to collect a body, and clearly there's no fuel. But people were mocking police officers, or some police officers would also take advantage of such situations. Now we get fuel cards, we have newer vehicles. So generally, there's a lot of improvement that has taken place in police. We must appreciate His Excellency the President for the effort, and even equipment, the MRAPs, the mine-resistant vehicles which we are using to patrol the borders. That kind of facility could only maybe be found with the military. But because of the nature of our work, the President has put in a lot of money to give us equipment in terms of MRAPs, in terms of... And also, now you go to CID headquarters, look at the forensic lab, state-of-the-art forensic lab, and a lot of equipment is being pushed there. So I think police is doing far much better than it was 15, 20 years ago. We just need to have a more civil society, so that some of these problems that we see the police facing, like corruption and so on, they start from the society. We need to be more civil in our society. We need a lot of education for people to understand the role of police in the society. And I can tell you, without police, Trevor, you cannot even walk in the street with your phone. So let's appreciate the police. Let's appreciate government for what they have done. I know everyone wants higher, better pay, better specs, better opportunities, but so far, so good. I cannot complain much. I know much more need to be done. We cannot say it's 100%, but we encourage everyone to work hard so that we grow our economy, so that the government manages to get more taxes, gets better money, so that we are able to improve on facilities. You can even see our roads. You've gone to the rural areas. You've seen the kind of, the way we have better roads now, even in rural places. Government is pushing in a lot of money, not only to the police stations, but also to a number of facilities. You've gone to our city. You've seen how well it's doing. We are now starting to work in cabros in Kisumu, isn't it?
Yes.
So a lot is happening, not just in police, but government is putting in a lot of money. But the government has invested heavily in police, in terms of equipment, in terms of our salaries, in terms of our insurance. Quite well.
There's
so
also
we just want more as human beings. But so far,
something
so good.
is being done.
Yes.
There's also a very transformative way of communication that your boss has started, the Inspector General Hilary Mutyambai. He calls it Engage the IG. I think it's every 2 weeks, Monday, it's every 14 days. There's been a lot of questions, and I see the DCI have also followed Q. They're also very active on Twitter there. But there's been a lot of questions about the impact of that. I've seen you also with him discussing some of those issues on the pictures that you post online. Is it that the issues that are being resolved are not being published? Or what has been the impact of Engage the IG on Twitter?
The IG is so high up. It's very difficult for the IG to engage with the members of public directly. He's so high up. The kind of work he has may not even allow him to meet many people. But through this forum, you may be having a burning issue. He's the CEO of the police. The buck stops with him. Whether we do, even when we do wrong things, it stops with the IGP. But this is a forum, a platform that gives him an opportunity to get the feel of the people on the ground. How do they feel about police? And sometimes he gets very important information through this forum that he follows up and he acts on. And that also forms part of his intelligence network, because he will get information, and from that information, he will also follow to know what is happening on the ground. It's not just engage the IG and it ends there. No, it's form. And remember, my boss has a long experience on intelligence background, so he knows what to pick where and how to put it where. So that puts him in a very good position. So this puts him directly with the people. They cannot see him directly, but he can pass information through that platform. And from that, he will use his mechanisms to verify those information. And he may even be able to expose a scandal or an activity which is going on down there, which is not appropriate. So I think it's a good platform. I want to encourage every Kenyan to follow us and give us more information. Engage the IG, give the IG more information. Let him know what is happening on the ground. You may not be able to reach him, but please reach him through Engage the IG.
But have you seen him take action from what is being
Yes. And that can be gotten from the responses of the people who have been tweeting us. The people who have been engaging us in this platform live, they can be able to give a report and say whether it is bearing fruit or not, but I think it's bearing fruit.
All right.
Yes.
Charles Owino, thank you so much for making time for us. There's so many questions. In fact, you're trending on Twitter, left, right, and center there. But we are running out of time here. Charles Owino will be back again. He's the police spokesperson. Thank you for speaking to us, and thank you for all the feedback that is coming through. We're taking a quick break here on Daybreak. When we come back, it's time to work out. All right? Bye for now.